Now, what are we suffering, and what are the children suffering from? Well, as I told you, our privacy, our right to privacy, has been violated dramatically during many years, because maybe while we were in our home, playing with the children, they could listen to our conversation, they could listen to laughters, listen to cries, listen to all happy moments we had with our children, and this is an intrusion in private life which is unacceptable. And this has been authorized by King's Prosecutors of Mons, which is a colleague and good friend of Mr. Vincent Junta, and who might have also a personal interest, because probably Mr. Vincent Junta told him, "Hey, you know what? I have a very good thing that you could do. If you want, you can launder money. I know underground financial construction." And maybe he said, yes. No, don't worry. You do it. But then we come upon Jean-Jacques Christophe with fake charges, and we have a plan. This is what the threat that I'm exposed to. Not only me, but also they want to come upon my ex-wife. And they want to come upon my children by forcing them into indictment. This is how things worked. So, this is one example. So, yes, I was dealing with the grievances. Violation of private life, violation of right to intimacy, constant persecution due to by police forces, who are always traumatizing, also traumatisms to our children. They are responsible for traumatizing our children. For instance, while we were still in Belgium, we wanted to complain against members of the mafia, and we went to a police station. And what did the policeman? The policeman asked to my daughter, who was only 7, if she wanted to see the prisons, thereby referring to the fact that later she might have to visit her father in prison. But this is totally crazy. You don't show a prison to children of 7 years old, while she might be interested in zoos or in playgrounds, but not in cells. This is an example of very, shocking behavior of mafia police forces in Belgium. Also, the fact, for example, that in Hungary, all children had, in the Czech Republic, when we were in Czech Republic, all children were woken up during the night, which they were sleeping, and they could see, they had to see policemen in the room in Hostel Prosperita in Brno in the Czech Republic, is also very shocking to them. My son was shivering, was asking, say, what's happening? And my daughter was crying. We have evidence that even the next day she was crying, asking herself, I miss my mother very much, while they were waiting until the Hungarian grandparents would catch them and bring them back to Hungary, while they should be with us. My son has suffered deep trauma. He's still suffering deep traumatism due to the fact that he's now illegally separated from me and his mother since more than 2 years now. I am deprived of any contact with him, and he's deprived of any contact with him. There are 2 years that have to be compensated. 2 years of being together that we would like to compensate very much, because they have to be with us. Also, and I miss you, my son, I miss you, my daughter, and I wish you could be with us, because I have always been a good father, you know, and my ex-wife also a very good mother. If there weren't the mafia, we would be together, we would play, we play like before, like when we didn't hint that there were the mafia in our lives. I haven't changed. Also, the most severe grievance would be if the children would be forced back into acceptance of the legacy, if the children would be killed due to forceful acceptance of that legacy of my mother, of their grandmother, de Coste-Betty. That is what the mafia wants. Also in Hungary, the illegal deprival of or parental authority goes in the same direction, of course. They are not thinking about the supreme interests of the children. The supreme interest of the children is that we would defend them. We would be able to defend them against this mafia judgment. But they don't want to talk about that mafia judgment. They want to hide the fact that there is a mafia judgment in Belgium in which, and that the aim of the Hungarian proceedings is actually are actually to deprive us so that we would no longer be able to defend them, to defend our children. They want to hide this, and they want to close these mafia proceedings in Hungary at the first instance. Of course, so that there will be no possibility of appeal and no possibility of producing those papers telling that, hey, that is not what you are doing, is not the supreme interest of the children. The supreme interest of the children is not what you pretend. The supreme interest of the children is, hey, look, there is a fake judgment. Look, there is a mafia judgment in Belgium. Look, if we are deprived of our parentality, we can no longer defend our children. That is what the mafia wants to avoid us to talk about. That's why they want to close these Hungarian mafia proceedings at first instance. That is just an example. Grievances, because we had to flee Belgium. All children had to, from one day to the other, we had to tell them, come on, we leave Belgium, we can't do anything, you have to disenroll from school, while my son loved his school in Belgium. He had to come with us to Hungary, so change of environment. Also, he had to go to school in a Hungarian school together with Hungarian children, while if the rule of law had been respected, that if there was no influence by police forces, he would still be in Belgium, which was a higher education, because he was in a very good school. He was in a school where he was learning Dutch, English, German, and he liked his school. And also grievance, because of course he had to leave his house. He's still very nostalgic about our house we had in 19 Rue de la Sille and the happy moments we had together. He's still very, very nostalgic about that. He doesn't want to erase pictures relating to his past, and I know he's suffering very much from that. But this is not our fault. This is the fault of the police forces, who is mafia-like, and of all members of the mafia in Belgium. Also in Hungary, for example, my wife had to stop working. We were several times under medical, we had to stop for medical reasons. Like we were, it was very hard, very tough times. We had very tough times sometimes if we stay here. My wife had to stop her work because she had to focus on defending the family, on defending the children, defending herself. I had to stop my work as well during more than 1 year, because we had to flee from one country to the other, because we were chased from one country to the other due to the interference of police force and of mafia members in our lives. So still now, as long as we are not protected, we cannot start anything. As long as the mafia can act and can influence our everyday life, doing harm to us, to my ex-wife, to me, we are not safe anywhere. And even if we have the feeling that we are safe, because that's what the mafia wants to pretend now, that we are safe, we can have a job, we know that it's only very, very temporary, because the mafia with the mafia, the danger is silent, the danger is disguised, the danger is sometimes, like in our case in mafia proceedings, they can wait, but one day they will destroy the whole family. and we know everything. We are also in danger because I know everything. My ex-wife knows everything. We have names. We have tried to denounce them. And you know what happened when the mafia, when people want to denounce members of the mafia? They get killed, like what happened in Slovakia with Jan Kuciak. He was killed because he was putting his nose on what he should not do, and he was publicly denouncing. I'm doing the same because I know that I have no other choice. Then I cannot just wait like that, and that things happen and that we are all exterminated. Impossible. So I have to disclose names. We try to disclose names. We try to give names to many people, as we simply try to save our lives and the lives of our children, and enforce respect for documents showing that they have dismissed the legacy and that I have dismissed the legacy, and that's all. And that they should live with us. What's wrong with that? But of course, so we know everything, we know names, they know that we know everything, they know that we know names, and we are all the more their enemies, as we were already designated as scapegoats for their financial crimes and judiciary crimes. This makes us very, very, very jeopardized people, but we have no choice. We have to talk. We have to speak out for the truth. And even if it involves taking risks, life risks. We have been fighting now for 4 years. But of course, if there is someone who needs protection, it's me and my ex-wife, because if me and my ex-wife are jailed or are imprisoned or are prevented from talking, then the truth will never be known. Then our story will never be told, and the children will never know about anything. They will even not know why they now have to pay so many expenditures, why they have to pay so many things, while they have nothing to do with that, and we will no longer be there to tell them. That's the purpose of the mafia. That's why they want to put us into jail also. They want that the truth would never be disclosed. The solution is to disclose the truth, and quickly. That's what I'm trying to do. That's why I'm very, very, very much jeopardized. Together with my ex-wife, we are running unprotected right now, and taking huge risks. Thank you for your understanding.